Every motorcycle dealer talks about beginner-friendly bikes and reliable platforms, but none mention the hidden defects that turn safe-looking motorcycles into death traps. What if I told you that the bike your dealer recommended could strand you at 70 miles per hour with zero warning? That's not fear-mongering. Documented recalls and chronic failures affect millions of riders right now. Imagine finally buying that perfect starter bike, only to discover it's hiding a structural flaw that could collapse your frame mid-corner. In this video, I'm exposing the 19 motorcycles that manufacturers don't want you investigating in 2025. And the #1 entry will shock you. It's a classic that looks bulletproof, but hides corrosion that's literally eating the frame from the inside out. Watch every second, because this isn't just another review. It's the difference between safe riding and becoming a statistic from a defect that should never have left the factory. Number 19. Any classic steel frame motorcycle. Classic steel frame motorcycles carry the most insidious danger on this entire list because the threat is completely invisible during any normal inspection. Internal frame corrosion develops when moisture gets trapped inside sealed frame tubes, often from poor storage conditions or exposure to corrosive chemicals. The rust eats away at the metal from the inside out, thinning critical structural tubes until they can no longer handle normal riding stress. What makes this terrifying is that external inspections reveal nothing. The frame looks solid, the paint looks fine, and the bike passes a visual checks. Meanwhile, the load-bearing tubes in your main frame or swing arm are paper-thin and ready to catastrophically collapse under normal cornering or braking forces. This isn't theoretical. Vintage bike enthusiasts document frame tube failures that occur without warning during routine rides. If you're shopping for any classic steel frame motorcycle, invasive inspection is mandatory, or you're gambling with structural integrity every time you ride. Number 18, customized scooters. Factory Honda. Ruckus and Metropolitan scooters are safe, reliable urban transportation. But there's a modification trend that transforms these practical machines into structural nightmares. Enthusiasts stretch the chassis by cutting the frame and welding in extensions to create a custom lowrider aesthetic. This looks impressive at bike shows, but destroys the original engineering that made these scooters safe. When you modify frame geometry and add new welds, you're introducing stress concentrations that the original design never accounted for. Those welds become fatigue points that can crack under normal riding conditions. The stretch wheelbase changes handling dynamics in ways that make the scooter unstable, at speeds it could previously handle safely. What started as a cute 50cc commuter becomes a dynamically unpredictable vehicle with serious risk of structural collapse at the modified weld joints. If you're considering a used scooter with custom framework, understand you're buying someone else's engineering experiment with your safety. Number 17. Suzuki GS500E and F. The Suzuki GS500 enjoyed a 24-year production run as an economical commuter and beginner bike. The danger here isn't a specific component failure. It's the fundamental limitations of budget-focused engineering. This motorcycle uses a basic double-cradle steel frame with entry-level suspension components designed exclusively for low-speed commuting. At city speeds, the GS500 feels predictable and manageable. But when you need to make an emergency maneuver at highway speeds, this bike runs out of handling capability fast. The chassis lacks rigidity, the suspension can't control dynamic weight transfer, and the whole package becomes wallowy and imprecise exactly when you need maximum stability. For a new rider trying to avoid an accident, this handling deficit dramatically shrinks your margin for error. The bike that felt safe putting around town becomes dangerously unstable the moment you push it beyond its design envelope. Number 16. Honda CB750S OHC. The original Honda CB754 is a legendary motorcycle, but those early single overhead cam frames from 1969 through 1976 weren't properly engineered for the power they carried. The result is significant chassis flex that riders describe as a weave or wandering sensation during high-speed cornering. This lack of structural rigidity already compromises handling precision. But the real danger emerges as these bikes age. Decades of stress cycling and flexing reveal fatigue cracks near critical weld joints. These hidden frame cracks require extensive repair involving welding and reinforcement plates to restore structural integrity. Many owners also upgrade steering bearings and swing arm bushings, trying to compensate for the fundamental frame weakness. That beautiful classic cafe racer you're admiring might be hiding a ticking structural time bomb that compromises both handling and safety if you actually ride it dynamically. The vintage aesthetic doesn't change the fact that this chassis was marginal when new and genuinely dangerous 50 years later. Number 15, used dual sport motorcycles. Adventure bikes and dual sports get exposed to mud, water, and road grime constantly. One of the most overlooked maintenance items that creates serious safety consequences is swing arm pivot bearing failure. When these needle bearings corrode from water ingress and lack of lubrication, they introduce play and slop into your rear suspension mounting point. At parking lot speeds, this might feel like normal compliance, but when you're accelerating hard or hitting bumps at highway speeds, that rear end looseness becomes a major contributor to speed wobble and high-frequency instability. The motorcycle that feels rugged and reliable around town suddenly develops terrifying headshake when you're doing 70 on the interstate. This is especially dangerous because the failure mode only reveals itself during high-speed operation when you have the least time to react. If you're buying a used adventure bike, swing arm bearing inspection isn't optional maintenance. It's critical safety verification. Number 14, BMW G310R and GS. BMW launched the G310R and adventure-style G310 GS as affordable entry into their premium brand. Despite German engineering reputation, the 2017 and 2018 models had a serious structural defect that triggered federal safety recall. 185408. The side stand mounting point and surrounding frame section could fracture from repeated loading and use. The immediate risk is your motorcycle falling over when parked, but the deeper danger is chassis integrity compromise. When a primary load-bearing section of your frame cracks, it introduces excessive stress on the remaining structure and fundamentally weakens the entire chassis. This reduces your safety margin during dynamic riding when the frame needs to handle complex loading from braking and cornering forces. BMW's remedy involved inspection and either reinforcement plates or complete frame replacement. If you're considering one of these models, verify recall completion, because a compromised frame section is not something you want discovering during spirited riding. Number 13, Kawasaki KLR650. The Kawasaki KLR650 is beloved by adventure riders for its simple, durable engine. But this bike is infamous for a specific structural deficiency that every owner knows about: the subframe mounting bolts. The stock bolts, particularly the upper pair, fatigue and break when stressed by heavy luggage, passengers, or off-road impacts. This is exactly the kind of loading an adventure bike should handle without structural failure. When these bolts break, your rear subframe separates from the main frame. This subframe supports your seat, all your luggage, and sometimes exhaust components. Catastrophic separation during riding instantly destabilizes the motorcycle and makes a crash highly probable, especially if you're carrying significant weight. This design flaw is so universally recognized that the aftermarket upgrade replacing weak bolts with high-strength drill-through hardware is considered mandatory preventative maintenance. Not optional. Companies like Eagle Mike built their entire business around fixing Kawasaki's engineering oversight. If you buy a KLR without verifying subframe bolt upgrade, you're riding a bike that's designed to fail under its intended use conditions. Number 12, Triumph Modern Classics. Triumph's modern Bonneville family, including the T100, T120, Street Twin, and Street Scrambler, combines vintage styling with contemporary electronics. But several 2016 through 2019 models faced a recall for poorly routed fuel tank wiring harness. The harness could chafe against the fuel tank or frame structure during normal operation. When wire insulation gets abraded through, you get electrical short circuits. On any motorcycle, that's concerning, but when those damaged wires sit next to your fuel tank, you're looking at genuine fire risk. Additionally, unexpected electrical shorts can kill your engine without warning while you're riding. The simple, classic styling of these Bonnevilles conceals modern electronic complexity that introduces failure modes the original 1960s bikes never had. If you're buying a used modern classic from this era, verification of recall completion isn't about paperwork. It's about not having your fuel tank catch fire. Number 11. Yamaha V-Star 650 and 950. Yamaha's V-Star cruisers use shaft drive systems that riders choose specifically for low maintenance compared to chains or belts. But the V-Star 650 and 950 have documented histories of catastrophic final drive failures involving premature bearing wear, coupling gear destruction, or drive shaft breakdown. Initial symptoms might just be excessive noise that seems like a minor annoyance. The safety hazard emerges when that final drive unit completely fails. Unlike a chain that snaps and you just coast to a stop, a catastrophic final drive failure can cause internal components to bind or seize. This can lock your rear wheel without warning. A rear wheel lockup at highway speed is an exceptionally high-risk event that frequently results in high-side crashes where the bike flips you over the handlebars. The shaft drive system that you chose for reliability becomes the mechanism for one of motorcycling's most dangerous failure modes. Number 10. Harley-Davidson Softail models. Harley-Davidson redesigned the Softail line in 2018 with modern frame engineering. Despite this, federal safety recall 0188 affected over 82,000 motorcycles across numerous 2018 through 2024 models. The defect involves the mounting bracket for the rear shock preload adjuster that can fracture under normal riding stress. When this bracket breaks, it releases the metal adjuster mechanism, which can contact and severely damage your rear tire. Sudden tire pressure loss on a heavy cruiser at highway speed is extremely difficult to control and dramatically increases fatal crash risk. This isn't a minor component. It's core suspension structure failing on Harley's modern flagship platform. The recall demonstrates that even contemporary engineering from premium American manufacturers can harbor widespread structural flaws that compromise the fundamental safety of tens of thousands of motorcycles. If you're getting value from this investigation into hidden motorcycle dangers, subscribe now so you don't miss future content that could literally save your life. These aren't opinions. These are documented defects affecting real riders. Number 9. Harley-Davidson touring models. Harley-Davidson's large touring bikes promise robust reliability for cross-country journeys, but certain 2014 and 2015 touring models, including the Ultra-Limited, Road Glide, and Street Glide, face major federal safety recall 15V216 concerning the hydraulic clutch master cylinder. The master cylinder could lose the ability to generate sufficient pressure to properly disengage the clutch, particularly after extended parking. The safety risk is immediate and severe. If you attempt to start your bike or shift gears while the clutch remains effectively engaged, the motorcycle lurches forward uncontrollably. This can cause sudden crashes into objects or vehicles in front of you. Harley addressed this through authorized dealer service involving system flushing and master cylinder rebuilding. But if you're buying a used touring Harley from this era and that recall wasn't completed, you're riding a bike that might violently lurch forward the next time you try starting it in your garage. Number 8. Older Japanese cruisers. A systemic problem affects many Japanese cruisers built before 2010. Catastrophic regulator rectifier failure due to poor thermal design. The regulator rectifier converts alternator AC output into stable DC power for battery charging and running electronics. Many manufacturers prioritized aesthetics over function by mounting this component in locations with inadequate airflow, like behind fairings or under seats. The regulator rectifier uses cooling fins to dissipate heat. When deprived of cooling airflow, the unit overheats and fails. This creates two critical safety problems. First, it stops charging your battery, leading to sudden engine stall when battery voltage drops below ignition threshold. Second, a failing unit can stop regulating voltage properly, sending massive voltage spikes through your electrical system. This risks damage to sensitive components or potentially electrical fires. The cruiser you bought for reliable transportation hides an electrical time bomb that guarantees stranding or worse. Number 7. Suzuki Boulevard S40. The single-cylinder Suzuki LS650, rebranded as Boulevard S40, is a lightweight cruiser with deceptively simple appearance. But this platform is legendary among owners for chronic charging system failures involving the stator coil that generates AC power for ignition and battery charging. When the stator fails from overheating or age, your bike runs exclusively off battery power. The failure gives zero warning. Your motorcycle functions normally until battery voltage drops below the threshold needed for ignition and lights. Then your engine dies without notice at stoplights, in traffic, or at highway speeds. Being stranded at night with no lights or ignition is a severe safety hazard. This issue affects virtually all model years from 1996 through 2017. If you're considering a Boulevard S40, factor in immediate stator replacement as mandatory because the question isn't if it will fail, it's when. Number 6. Suzuki SV650. The Suzuki SV650, particularly generations built after 2003, is praised for its trellis frame design suggesting light, rigid performance. However, consumer reports highlight concerns about structural integrity of frame wells, with visible chipping or localized cracking. A crack in load-bearing trellis frame members suggests structural fatigue or welding process weakness. The bike's handling and stability depend entirely on the frame withstanding complex dynamic loads during cornering and braking. If frame failure occurs while the bike is heavily stressed during emergency braking or aggressive cornering, you risk immediate and catastrophic chassis collapse. This transforms a motorcycle renowned for its bulletproof engine into one harboring potentially fatal structural vulnerability. That affordable used SV650 might be affordable because the frame is literally cracking apart under normal use. Number 5. Yamaha YZF-R 3 and MT-03. The Yamaha R3 and related MT-03 are known for sharp handling that's critically dependent on steering system integrity. A common pattern involves premature deterioration of steering head bearings hidden between the triple trees. When these bearings wear out, they create notchy steering, caused by ball bearings beating dimples into the bearing race. This degradation undermines handling precision and dramatically increases susceptibility to high-speed instabilities, the death wobble or head shake that strikes terror into experienced riders. Unpredictable front-end behavior during deceleration or sudden weight shifts can rapidly escalate into catastrophic loss of control. The R3 that felt planted and confidence-inspiring when new develops terrifying high-speed instability as those bearings are, negating its reputation as a reliable daily rider. Steering head bearing inspection isn't scheduled maintenance. It's essential safety verification that prevents your sport bike from trying to kill you at speed. Number 4. Honda CBR 250R and 300R. Honda's CBR 250R and CBR 300R are recommended as reliable, affordable entry sport bikes, but specific early to mid-2010s model years suffer from chronic ABS modulator failure. The system develops brake fluid loss or internal compromise, resulting in spongy brakes and progressive loss of front brake pressure, often without illuminating warning lights. This creates a dangerous financial trap. These bikes sell used as cheap starter models where buyers expect low maintenance costs. When the ABS modulator fails, repair costs for parts and labor run between $1,174 and $1,301. This frequently approaches or exceeds the used motorcycle's entire market value. Owners face the choice of riding with severely compromised brakes or scrapping an otherwise functional bike because one component costs more than the bike is worth. That budget-friendly beginner bike becomes a death trap or a total financial loss from a single component failure. Number 3. Kawasaki Ninja 300 ABS. The Kawasaki Ninja 300 ABS provides a critical case study in recalls affecting beginner machines. The 2013 model year faced federal safety recall 13V310 concerning ABS hydraulic unit malfunction. This defect is particularly insidious because the ABS system designed as a safety enhancement becomes the critical failure point. Hydraulic unit malfunction compromises the system's ability to maintain brake pressure. For riders, this translates directly into unreliable braking, potentially resulting in total loss of stopping power. A catastrophic risk that contradicts the assumption that modern ABS-equipped bikes are inherently safer. Kawasaki's recall mandated dealer inspection and hydraulic unit replacement at no charge. But if you're buying a used 2013 Ninja 300 and that recall wasn't completed, you're riding a bike where the safety system designed to prevent crashes might be what causes your crash by failing completely when you need brakes most. Number 2. Kawasaki Ninja 400 and Z400. Beyond the clutch issues, the Ninja 400 and Z400 platforms suffer from significant engine defects involving poorly designed cylinder coolant seals between cylinder and case. The original equipment seal is prone to folding or deforming over time, resulting in external coolant leaks. The repair is labor-intensive, requiring cylinder head removal, imposing substantial cost. But the critical safety danger is rapid coolant loss during sustained high-speed riding or track use, leading to severe engine overheating. A thermal event severe enough to seize your engine results in sudden, potentially devastating rear-wheel lockup. You're accelerating hard through a corner, and your engine seizes, locking the rear wheel and high-siding you into oncoming traffic. Reputable aftermarket companies develop permanent replacement seals using machined aluminum bodies with dual O-rings to fix Kawasaki's engineering failure. If you own one of these bikes, that seal replacement isn't optional maintenance. It's preventing your engine from seizing and throwing you off the bike. Number 1. Kawasaki Ninja 400 and Z400. The top spot goes to the Kawasaki Ninja 400 and Z400 for a defect so widespread it defines ownership experience. The stock clutch system, particularly on 2018 and 2019 models, uses clutch springs that are demonstrably too weak for the engine's output. This manifests as clutch slippage, especially during aggressive acceleration or high RPM operation. The primary safety consequence hits when you need quick acceleration for passing vehicles or merging into fast highway traffic. You twist the throttle expecting power and instead get sudden, unexpected loss of motive force as the clutch slips uncontrollably. This unpredictable acceleration loss places you in extremely vulnerable positions in traffic. Though dealers blame rider error, the widespread nature confirms component inadequacy. Owners routinely install aftermarket heavy-duty clutch springs from manufacturers like Barnett or EBC as mandatory fixes. The beginner-friendly bike that was supposed to be safe and reliable requires immediate modification to prevent losing power exactly when you need it most. That's why it takes the number 1 position. It's marketed to new riders but ships with a clutch assist system that fails under normal riding conditions. These hidden defects prove that safe-looking motorcycles can harbor catastrophic flaws. But what about bikes engineered to actually last? Check out my video on the 23 most reliable motorcycles that refuse to die, because longevity and proper engineering matter more than marketing claims.